Article 5 The Council of Kings. Section 1, Clause 1, Establishing the Council of Kings. There shall be a Council of Kings, established as the fourth and equal branch of government. The council shall be comprised of Oneilefe and Alifanoyo as permanent members, and 2 kings from each state within Yoruba nation. The kings of each state shall form an association, from which the association shall select, based on automatic rotation set forth in the association's guidelines, the 2 kings representing each state to serve a 5-year term on the Council of Kings, under penalty of imprisonment, the length of which shall be stipulated by the Assembly. No state government official or Yoruba nation official shall create additional kings, or in any way participate or influence the selection of the kings who shall represent the state at the Council of Kings. Section 1, Clause 2, Council to meet quarterly. The council shall meet on a quarterly basis to deliberate, among others, traditional, ceremonial, and cultural matters. Section 1, Clause 3, Council shall memorialize regulations and processes. The Council of Kings, shall create memorialized regulations and processes, which shall not contradict the provisions herein, by which the council shall be administered, by which the kings of each locality shall be elected according to that locality's customs and practices, and by which they shall select the chairman and other officers to serve for each 5-year term. Where the chairman of the Council of Kings passes away, or is otherwise indisposed, either of the 2 permanent members shall temporarily assume the chairmanship until the chairman is available. Where the chairman passes away or is otherwise indisposed, and both permanent members are unavailable to temporarily assume the chairmanship, the Council of Kings shall, according to its processes, shall appoint a member to temporarily to fill the position. Section 1, Clause 4, Council Security Force. The council may create a security force, for the security of the kings and their families. Section 2. No political affiliation or political endorsement by kings or council. The kings of Yoruba nation, and the Council of Kings, respectively, shall not have any political affiliation, shall not exercise any political influence, shall not endorse or facilitate the endorsement of any political candidate or party, neither shall any political candidate or party seek or facilitate any endorsement or appearance of endorsement, from any kings or the council. Kings of Yoruba nation shall not hold any meetings with a political aspirant, political candidate, political party, or their present or prior agents, during the campaign season and within 6 months of the election, in which the candidate contests for public office. Section 3, Council of Kings may order Assembly to initiate impeachment. Upon public uproar, the Council of Kings may issue an order with the seal of the council, signed by 2/3 of the council, upon which the first chamber shall initiate an impeachment process against the president. Upon receiving the council's impeachment order, the first chamber shall initiate the impeachment process within 30 days of receipt thereof. Section 4, Clause 1, Independent Monarch Fund, Compensation of Kings. At the inception of the Yoruba nation, the legislature shall create a monarch fund for the compensation of the kings. The money for the fund shall flow uninterrupted into the fund in the same manner that the other branches of government are financed. The financing for the fund shall be adjusted annually, based on the inflation index. Section 4, Clause 2, Monarch Fund shall be independent of government. The fund shall be independent of any other branch of government. No law, order, or regulation shall ever be issued or passed which shall target the fund, to reduce its value. Section 4, Clause 3, King's compensation determined by Council of Kings. The fund shall provide compensation to the kings, according to the council's memorialized regulations and processes. The council shall, via its memorialized regulations and processes, create an administrative staff, answerable only to the council, which shall document the council's activities, officially process its work, and administer the monarch fund. The authority and activities of the council's administrative staff shall not violate any law of Yoruba nation or its individual states. The compensation of the kings may be according to classes that the council may create for its members. All kings of Yoruba nation who are on the throne at the inception of Yoruba nation, and who ascend the throne thereafter, shall upon coronation, register with the Council of Kings. 4. Participation and compensation. Section 4, Clause 4, each king to provide information to Council of Kings. Each king shall submit to the council the information of each traditional ruler, under the king's jurisdiction and authority. The council shall determine the compensation to be paid in equal amount to each of the traditional rulers. Neither the kings nor the council shall create or authorize additional traditional rulers, aside from the traditional rulers already in existence. Section 5, Clause 1, Jurisdiction of Customary Court. There shall be established a customary court in each village or locality which, upon the consent of both parties, shall have jurisdiction over land and other civil disputes brought by the people. The customary court shall not have jurisdiction over any matters which carry the penalty of imprisonment or more serious punishment. Section 5, Clause 2, Customary court cases decided by traditional ruler. All cases brought before the customary court shall be resolved by the traditional ruler, appointed by the king, over that village or locality. Where the traditional ruler is not a lawyer, the traditional ruler may, upon his sole discretion, be assisted by a lawyer whose compensation shall be paid by the local government. Section 5, Clause 3, Customary court cases judged with customary law. The cases adjudicated at the customary court shall be resolved according to the customary law of that locality, but the rulings of the traditional ruler shall not violate the laws of Yoruba nation or the laws of that particular state. Section 5, Clause 4, Customary court cases may be appealed to the King's Court. Above the customary court shall be established, the King's Court, which shall sit in the town or city where the king's throne is established, and shall have appellate jurisdiction over the customary courts. Section 5, Clause 5, Rulings of King's Court. At the King's Court, either the king or as many agents as the Council of Kings may by population approve for that town or city, shall hear and decide the case appealed. Where the king is not a lawyer, he may, upon his sole discretion, be assisted by a lawyer whose compensation shall be paid by the local government. The agents appointed by the king may be lawyers from the local bar association, retired judges or retired lawyers who volunteer their services. The rulings of the king's agents shall be the ruling of the king. All cases appealed to the King's Court shall be adjudicated according to customary law and the customs of that locality, but the rulings of the king or his agents shall not violate the laws of Yoruba nation or the laws of that particular state. Section 5, Clause 6, Rulings of King's Court appealable to State's High Court. The rulings from the King's Court shall be appealable to the State's High Court in the local government where the King's Court is located, and shall be subsequently appealable to the State Appellate Court, Superior Court, and ultimately the Supreme Court of Yoruba Nation. Section 6, Clause 1, Royal Code of Conduct established by Council of Kings. The Council of Kings shall establish among its memorialized regulations and processes, a Royal Code of Conduct, which shall stipulate the process for Yoruba people to file allegations against kings alleged to have violated Yoruba traditions of gravity, or to have exhibited behavior that is embarrassing to the Yoruba people, or unbecoming of the Yoruba crown, or debasing of the Yoruba throne. The Royal Code of Conduct shall also stipulate the punishment for any king found to have violated the code. Section 6, Clause 2, Handling criminal matters for kings. Criminal matters regarding a king shall be prosecuted according to the appropriate legal processes.